Ukraine just got the green light for EU membership. Brussels says the reforms are finally real, from tackling graft to breaking the oligarch grip. But as Moldova races ahead and the Balkans stall, Europe's expansion is turning into a power game, and Ukraine's biggest battle may now be in Brussels. The European Commission just handed Kyiv its highest marks yet. President Volodymyr Zelensky wasted no time announcing Ukraine is ready to open clusters 1, 2 and 6 in EU accession talks, an achievement for a nation simultaneously fighting off a full-scale Russian invasion. In a post on X, Zelensky wrote, "The European Commission's enlargement package report confirms Ukraine is confidently moving toward EU membership and ready to open clusters 1, 2 and 6. This is the best assessment to date. Proof that even as we defend against Russia's full-scale aggression, Ukraine continues to reform and transform according to European standards. Ukraine's progress on the path to the EU is achieved by the efforts of millions of our people." The timing couldn't be more critical. Ukraine needs this. Europe needs this. But there's one problem. Hungary keeps vetoing the talks, exploiting the EU's unanimity rule to hold the entire process hostage. Zelensky didn't mince words about the obstruction. "We expect the EU's decisive action to overcome all artificial obstacles for a strong and united Europe. Unity and strength are two key elements for the European project to succeed and ensure safety, prosperity, and guaranteed peace for all European nations, communities, and families. We are committed to working together to strengthen Europe and our shared values." Ukrainian Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko also commented on the publication of the enlargement report, saying that Ukraine has moved one step closer to EU membership.
Today, we are one step closer to EU membership. Ukraine has received its highest ratings in the 2025 enlargement package report, just released by the European Commission. We welcome that the report confirms Ukraine's consistent progress on the path toward EU membership.
She noted that this marks Ukraine's best result in the past 3 years on the path to joining the EU. The report also highlights Ukraine's progress in preparing for accession talks and readiness to open negotiation clusters. Hungary, invoking the EU's unanimity rule on enlargement, continues to block the launch of Ukraine's EU accession talks. Meanwhile, Moldova is accelerating its bid to join the European Union. On November 4th, Moldovan President Maia Sandu urged EU leaders to open all negotiation clusters by the end of 2024, calling it a decisive step in her country's European future. Speaking at an EU summit in Brussels, Sandu reiterated Moldova's commitment to reforms, but insisted it was time for the EU to act.
Well, for now, it's opening the negotiations on all the clusters, as they have said in the report that we are ready, so this is what should happen.
Pressed further on whether failure by Brussels to act would be seen as a setback.
I don't want to think about failures. I want to believe that by the end of this year, the EU is going to find solutions.
The European Commission's latest enlargement report affirmed that Moldova had made accelerated progress, especially considering regional security pressures from the war in neighbouring Ukraine. Sandu emphasised that Moldova is not merely requesting EU action, but backing it with tangible reforms.
We do have important reforms to implement. Justice sector reform is one of the reforms, which is not easy, but we have made progress, especially with the external extraordinary evaluation of judges and prosecutors, which is about integrity of judges and prosecutors. We have made progress in fighting corruption, and also the Moldovan people can see the first results. So we should continue with this reform.
Beyond Moldova, other EU hopefuls voiced both optimism and frustration over stalled accession talks. The European Commission said that Montenegro is currently the most advanced candidate in accession negotiations. Speaking in Brussels, Montenegro's Deputy Prime Minister for Foreign and European Affairs, Filip Ivanović, welcomed the report.
First of all, let me tell you that the report that we have just received is additional evidence to the plan that we as a government had, which is to have each of the reports being better than the previous ones. So previous year we had the best report up until then, and now this is the best report ever, so to say. So it is evidence of a very hard work of the government of Montenegro, but not just of the government, but also of other political institutions in the country.
He added that Montenegro expects to close several negotiation chapters by the end of 2024, with a goal to complete accession talks by 2026.
It is also an introduction, I would say, to a very successful intergovernmental conference that we will have by the end of this year, where we will close several chapters. And on the other hand, it is, let's say, a blueprint of what we need to do in the forthcoming 12 or 13 months in order to fulfill our goal to finish the negotiations and to close all chapters by the end of 26.
But not all leaders were optimistic. North Macedonia's Prime Minister Hristijan Mikoski expressed frustration, accusing the EU of allowing political disputes, not democratic criteria, to stall progress.
And unfortunately, we are in the same place where we were 25 years ago, due to some artificial reasons. Not because of the Copenhagen criteria, not because of the fulfilling some objectives, but because of some artificial disputes, such are our national flag, our national name, our country name, change of constitution this, change of constitution that.
With the EU signalling openness to enlargement by 2030, the coming months are critical. Moldova is pushing for full negotiation clusters before year's end, standing on promises of justice reform and energy independence. But Brussels now faces a historic test, whether it can match expectations with political will. President Sandu remains confident the EU will act.